I'd like to call this meeting of the Elkhorn Common Council to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Tim Sharota.
Here.
Gary Payson Jr.
Here.
Ron Dunwoody is absent. Scott McClory.
Here.
Ken Minell.
Here.
Kurt Harkness.
Here.
Do we have anyone here for public comment tonight? Dave, seeing one. Let me read this little statement here. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes each. The public may speak on any item of city concern, whether or not the topic is included on the agenda. However, if the topic does not pertain to an item listed on the council agenda, the council is not permitted to address or discuss the matter during this meeting. Under open meeting laws, the council must notice an item on the agenda to allow discussion on that matter. If the council is not permitted to discuss your concerns, your comments will be considered and may be placed on a future agenda for further discussion. If you want to come up to the podium and name and address, please.
My name is David Crosby, and I reside at 39 Monica Drive. This matter is about the flooding of my home. This unfortunate circumstance caused by Elkhorn West subdivision appears is going to receive attention that leads to final resolve. I seek reassurance of future remedial action to abate the aforementioned property condition. I'd like to thank the mayor, as he has stated in recent conversation with me, comment to move this matter forward to a workable solution. Is this correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're supposed to answer questions. No.
Secondly, I wish to thank the head of DPW, Mr. Matt Lindstrom, for responding with due diligence for televising and inspecting all storm drains and storm sewer lines impacting the affected area of my home at 39 Monica Drive and ensuring that they are fully functional as they can be at this time. Not to make myself a liar, but everything is good right now, Matt?
You can't answer.
Even though he's not on council? Got it. It gives me great comfort. The city of Elkhorn wishes to actively pursue resolve of this matter. I look forward in assisting the city in any capacity I am able. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dave. Would anyone else like to be heard for public comment? Anyone else? Public comment is closed. We'll move on to the consent agenda, which has the meeting minutes of the Human Resources on May 1st and 16th, 2024, Committee of the Whole and Common Council on May 6th, 2024, and the Public Safety Committee meeting on May 9th, 2024, and also a pay request number 1 from Rock Road Companies for the Northeast Water Treatment Plant Sewer and Water Extensions Project in the amount of $290,784.78. Would anyone like those separated, or we would like them separated?
Right,
Well,
because
let's-
one is going to require a roll call.
Okay. So we've got item A.
Make a motion to approve. I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion, corrections on those minutes of the various meetings? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on to item B, the pay request.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay. I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Gary, did you make the motion?
Yes, I did.
Gary Payson Jr.
Yes.
Scott McClory.
Yes.
Ken Minell.
Yes.
Kurt Harkness.
Yes.
Okay, we've got consideration and recommendation to pay the bills. I do not have that amount written down here. Does somebody have that? In the amount of $3,305,935.08.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second it.
We've got a motion and a second to pay the bills for the stated amount. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Gary Pitson Jr.,
Yes.
Ken Minell,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness,
Yes.
Scott McClory.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Here's, we've got a report of city officers. The first thing we have is the city would like to recognize the municipal court clerk Claudia Last for her 14 years of service. I thought I saw Claudia come in.
She's hiding back
Oh,
there.
you're right, way back there.
She refused the cake, too.
Oh, geez, we're behind it. Smile.
Then we have the swearing in of the interim city attorney, Elaine Ekus. And I believe Lacey is going to do that.
Ready, Elaine?
Yes.
All right, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Elaine Ekus,
Having been elected or appointed to the office of interim city attorney,
having been elected or appointed to the office of interim city attorney, I would be having been appointed,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Then we have the swearing in of the new fire chief, Trent Eichman. So Trent, you're gonna do that too?
And Trent gave me the long one for all of you, audience members. Come on over here, Trent. Then hopefully it'll pick up on the mic. Right there.
All right.
Ready? I state your name
I, Trent Eichman,
as the fire chief of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department,
as the Fire Chief of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin.
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Fire Chief of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department,
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Fire Chief of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department.
I will never allow my personal feelings nor danger to self deter me from my responsibilities.
I will never allow my personal feelings nor danger to self deter me from my responsibilities.
I pledge to carry out the duties as the Fire Chief to the best of my ability,
I pledge to carry out the duties as the Fire Chief to the best of my ability,
and will honor and respect the mission, goals, purpose, and policies of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department.
and will honor and respect the mission, goals, purpose, and policies of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department.
I recognize that the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust, and I accept so long as I am true to the ethics of the fire service.
I recognize that the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust, and I accept so long as I am true to the ethics of the fire service.
As the Fire Chief of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department, I accept this self-imposed and self-enforced obligation as my responsibility,
As the Fire Chief of the Elkhorn Area Fire Department, I accept the self-imposed and self-enforced obligation as my responsibility,
and make these promises freely,
and make these promises freely,
without mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without mental reservations or purpose of evasion.
and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter,
and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats to you too, Elaine.
Hers wasn't 25 minutes long.
All right, now moving on to, we're going to consider the candidates for the District 1 aldermanic vacancy. We've got 2 candidates here, and what we'd like to do is hear from each of you for just a couple minutes at the podium, and then the council members are going to vote. The winner of that vote will be sworn in and take their seat immediately. Is that the
Correct.
understanding? Okay.
All voting members should have a yellow square piece of paper. If you don't have one, let me know, I will give you one.
Okay, and I'm just gonna make an executive decision here and say ladies first. So Carol, if you'd like to, come up and just tell us what you'd like to.
Okay, well, I served on the council for 6 years in District 6, and I pretty much know what goes on, and I've lived in Elkhorn for 48 years, and raised my kids here, and always worked here, and I really enjoyed being on the city council, so I would like to be back on it again. Does anyone have any questions of me? Okay,
Okay, thanks, Carol.
thanks.
And then we have Pete Harvey.
I can write mine out. I'm not public speaker. But I'd just like to introduce myself, Pete Harvey. I'm applying for the open seat in Aldermanic District 1. We live at 218 Randall Place. Tell you a little bit about myself. I served as a career firefighter for the city of Wauwatosa for 23 years, and my wife and I run a small business in Milwaukee area since 2000. In 2001, we were blessed with our son, and we wanted to raise him in a city with a small town neighborhood feel. And so we chose Elkhorn and moved here from the Milwaukee area in 2003. With the great school system and small town atmosphere, we were hooked. Add in the quaint downtown park and rec programs, and it was an easy decision for us. I'm a believer in great city services from public works, park and rec, police, city utilities, municipal court, and I believe to Walworth County's first full-time fire department, firefighter and EMS department. These services are outstanding and continue to grow with the community. On a personal note, I learned some very important life lessons during my career as a firefighter. Working as a teamwork is very valuable. If Plan A doesn't work, don't be afraid to go on to Plan B, C, or D and find the best solution together. Open-minded and consideration to all options, able to find the right solution. I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration for this seat, and I look forward to serving the community.
Any questions for Pete? Okay,
Thank
hearing
you for
none.
your fire service.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Elaine, would you like to share your information?
Yes, thank you. I was just speaking with the clerk because a comment was made about having Post-its available for secret ballot. Secret ballot voting is technically only allowed for selecting the president of the council. It's not allowed for deciding to fill a vacancy for an appointment to the council. So, and we did just look at this for another community. So I just went and found my information on it. So that specifically a secret ballot is allowed for picking the president, but not for,
It was very open.
well, it can be open, but you
Yeah.
can also
You
do
can-
it
you
via
could
secret
request it,
ballot,
sure.
right?
Okay.
But not for filling a vacancy.
Okay, so how
So
do we
should we
do
do
it?
a roll call, or what is
Yes,
the?
so obviously you have two probably very qualified candidates in front of you, and public service is very important. So I want to just mention, of course, it's not a reflection on the people that have put their names out there for selection, but often it is a who moves first, so to speak, and you put that candidate to a vote first. So if somebody wanted to make a motion and it got a second, the council would consider it. If that failed, then somebody else would make a motion probably for the other candidate and second and consider that one.
I'd like to make a motion then. I'd like to make a motion to approve Carol Young.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Now what? Roll call? It's a
If
roll call?
you can do a roll call vote, or it's a majority, is what fills the seat, so a majority of the council.
I would do a roll call.
Roll call vote it is.
Okay, Gary Payson Jr.,
Yes.
Scott McClory,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness,
No.
Ken Minell.
Thanks.
No.
Then would the mayor vote to break the tie?
You know, I should have looked further in my email research just to make sure. Hold on just a second. No, I don't believe so, because it's just at the majority of the council. So this is a council decision.
So then would somebody else need to make another motion?
So the
Or
motion
how does
fails.
It does.
In all other council business, the mayor breaks the tie. If we're in a lock,
You're-
it doesn't, in this case,
No, I don't believe so. That's what I was just trying to double check,
never heard of that.
because it's a member of your body.
Right. I believe you.
Yeah.
I've always, anything that's
Yeah, I
ever
was
come up
just,
before.
that's why I
we're-
was just taking a moment to look at it. But you
Yeah.
know, you're right. He does get to break a tie. So that's why I wanted to double check it.
And normally we wouldn't have this problem, but Ron's absent tonight. And so it'd be 5 people versus 4.
I'm just going to go back out to the statute and read again.
If you need some more time to research this, can we table it for now or go to recess or something? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want you to be in a rush and.
Oh,
so-
sure. No, and that's fine. I just wanted to poke around a little bit more. The guidance I looked at, including the statute, it just talks about a majority vote of the council, of the alderpersons. So
Can we move on and circle back to this?
you can. So you could move to table or postpone action on this item to later on in your agenda and allow me a little bit of time to poke around and make sure I'm not missing something in what I'm looking at.
Okay, do we need a motion for that?
I would pass a motion for it, and I think probably move it down to maybe under 12 and make it item 12E. Does that make sense? You can
Okay.
get through your other items under your new business.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to postpone this item?
I'll make a motion to postpone this item to later in the agenda.
And I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move on to the can move on to the city administrator's report.
Hey, okay. So, first off, as some of you have probably seen, the city issued the interim grading permit to Creekside, so they've started moving some dirt for that development. We're still waiting for the specific implementation plan to get approved though, so there's still one more big step, but we did receive a application for an amended SIP from Belinsky Homes, and this is for them to construct the 32 condos and Harvest Point Villa condos, which would be by the Walgreens on Wisconsin Street. So that project was initially approved back in 2022. They're looking to modify that plan to reduce the size of those units by about 100 square feet. So, but it's obviously good that that project looks like will be moving forward here soon. The ATV, UTV ordinance, I know DPW's been working to get those signs installed. They should be installed by the end of this week, right, Matt?
Yeah, I'm still hopeful, weather pending. We've been focusing more on the, I'll say, visible signs. So that's our goal, is by the end of the week.
So, and then Lacey is scheduled to have that ordinance published as of Thursday of this week. So, in terms of when that ordinance would take effect, obviously, once the signs get installed and the ordinance has been published, we did get confirmation, at least from our city attorney, as well as talking to the county, that right now, the county roads that are greater than 35 miles per hour aren't included, or I should say, ATVs, UTVs aren't permitted on county roads in the city that have speed limits higher than 35 miles per hour. So I know talking to the mayor today, he indicated, or I guess I should say suggested we put this on the agenda, just if you guys want to talk about that aspect of it at the next meeting. So I'll put that on as agenda item. And then the board review scheduled this Wednesday, this opportunity for residents to appeal their property valuations. You're supposed to notify the city at least 48 hours in advance, so I think unfortunately that deadline is passed, but that is going on this Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30. And then, according to the chief, the baby box has been installed at the fire department, but it's not operational at this point because I guess they're still doing the electrical work, but at least it's making progress, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. So the box is installed, but it's not able to actually be, it's not
Yes.
functional?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Because obviously you don't want to do that before the cameras are installed.
Correct.
Okay.
Cobb Road is open. That was closed for a while as part of the Northeastern project, so that is now open. And then, unfortunately, Highway 12 will be closing next week, just at basically where it intersects with Schmitz and Potter Road as part of that road project. Matt, is there anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, it'd actually be the weekend after, or the week after
Okay.
the holiday.
Alright.
So they're saying the 5th as of right now, June 5th.
Okay. Those are my updates, unless council has anything further.
Okay, thank you, Adam. We've got reports of city boards and community partners, fire advisory.
Nothing to report at this time, sir. We meet again in July.
Okay, great, thank you. Library, I know I saw Chad here. The new District 1 alderman will be serving as liaison to the library board, but as you can see, they're not installed yet, so it's up to you.
Oh, I'm the tiebreaker?
Yeah.
No, thank you. Good evening. The library has completed contracting and zoning of our new digital sign, which I mentioned at a previous meeting. The new sign will be full color, high resolution, and easier for us to program. The library board has approved a Appendix L to our library policy, which will expand use of that, namely for city events and chamber events. Also, the school district has appointed Tricia Spindy of the EASD Options to succeed Cinta Holmes as the library board liaison. So we want to thank Cinta for her excellent service, and we look forward to working with Tricia. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Rec Advisory.
Yeah, there's no update from Carl tonight. We're confirming a date in June, depending on agenda items.
Thank you, Gary. Chamber of Commerce.
Chris?
Good evening. As some of you might know, last weekend we had our spring food truck, which was very well attended. We had 20 plus food trucks and 70 plus different vendors. Our survey to our vendors and food truck and some of our downtown businesses was very receptive. And again, we have to thank our Public Works and the Police Department for their assistance for the event. We could not do it without them, so we greatly appreciate that. Also, probably 2 weeks ago when I was not here, everyone should have received a community guide in the mail. I always like to do that as a follow-up. We do mail that to our 53121 zip code and also a portion of the 53147, the Geneva National, and part of the Como area that falls in our area. So we print approximately 30,000 of them, and they go out as a distribution and a tourism piece. We are sending them out as we speak. The back of my expedition is full of them to go to the post office to be distributed. But we put them out throughout the hotels and throughout the county, and then we do some mailings in northern Illinois with them. Also, this Saturday, we'll start our Saturdays on the Square, which runs from Memorial Day through Labor Day. It's a fresh market. We have 20 plus seasonal vendors that will always be there, and we have many drop-ins based on the products that they sell. So we encourage everyone to come down on Saturdays from 9 to 1. You'll see a wide variety. And now the weather has changed, hopefully, and we will see much more traffic in our communities. And again, we appreciate Matt and the Facebook posts as far as all the changes with road construction as we share them. We have a fairly good reach with our Facebook and social media, so we get them out. And I know like Evergreen turns around and shares them, the hotels do, so try to get that information out on a timely basis. The only other thing that I wanted to kind of just slipped my mind when I looked at Matt. I had one more thing and it's not in my notes, but I'll think of it and I'll let you know. But thank you. If you guys ever have any questions, we are working remotely as our building owner has been doing some improvements to our building. I know a couple of people have called and texted like, what's going on? Did you guys move? We did not move. Our building owner is replacing the flooring or epoxying the flooring. And now with some humidity and condensation, it's going to take a little longer for it to probably completely cure. But we look forward to it, and hopefully this fall at our 50th anniversary as Chamber of Commerce here in Elkhorn, you all can join us on September 19th for that event also. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. We have the community grant writer.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm wearing black this evening because I'm in mourning. On behalf of Matt and Kapoor, Mike, we did not receive the STP funding grant that I was really, really hoping for either the Centralia project or Westwood Drive. And there were 8 projects that were selected. No one in the southeast Wisconsin region was awarded, including Elkhorn, so I'm really sorry about that. We had a great application. It was really solid, but I will be contacting DOT to get more information because we'll use that as the building block on which to build so we can apply again next year. That's the only information I have. We have won an award in one of my other entities, but I'm not allowed to announce it yet, but I'll have more information for you on that next month, but it's really good for our community.
Thanks, Katie. Committee reports, Human Resources.
Thank you, Mayor. The Human Resources Committee met May 1st, 2024 at 10:45 a.m. and discussed the employee health insurance plan for the 2024-2025 plan year. A motion was made to recommend a 1.75% premium and standardize the HRA amount for all employees to $500. The next meeting was held with Human Resources on May 16th at 3:30 p.m. to continue those discussions on the employee health insurance plan for 2024-2025 plan year. And at that time, a motion was made to recommend a change in our broker, which will be a cost savings to the city at a 1% instead of 1.75% cost share for employees, retain the current plan schedule, and not offer an opt-out cash incentive. That's my report.
Thanks, Scott. Committee of the Whole.
Yes, so the committee met on May 6th at 4:45 p.m. to interview firms that submitted proposals for building inspection services in response to the city's RFP. The committee interviewed Safe Built and Wildan. Initially decided to work a contract out with Safe Built. However, tonight, the committee met again to reconsider this matter and instead to repost the RFP to obtain additional proposals.
Thank you, Gary. Public Safety.
That's me again. So Public Safety meeting, Public Safety Committee met on May 9th at 10:45 a.m. Two topics were on the agenda. The first topic was discussion and possible decision regarding personal appearance standards. Police Chief Christensen informed the committee that currently the police department does not allow facial hair other than a mustache or tattoos. The department and PFC are looking to update the policies. Christensen asked the committee how they want the officers to present. Christensen added there will be a draft to review in the near future. The second topic was discussion and possible decision regarding police department policy update. Officer-involved shootings and deaths, number 306. Police Chief Christensen shared the update is still in progress, and there are two other policies that need to be updated along with this section. Christensen added the department had a training yesterday, which would have been May 8th, regarding that topic, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Item number 10, with Carl, with the rec director, is being postponed. We just want to take it off this agenda. Do we need any kind of action to do that?
If you know the date that you're going to postpone it to,
No, I don't
June
think we
3rd.
do.
The next meeting.
Okay, June 3rd.
so it would be a motion to postpone that item to the specific date.
Okay. I'll make a motion to postpone the presentation to June 3rd.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
We've got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We've got a discussion and possible decision regarding Class B beer license application for the Walworth County Agricultural Society at the Walworth County Fairgrounds event, Professional Champion Bull Riding on July 5th and 6th, 2024, from 5 to 10 p.m., and review of the event emergency plan. I know I saw Larry here.
You can come up to the desk. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Larry. I think there was some concern about this event and how similar, dissimilar it is from the events we had trouble with here, what, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, 2 months, something like that. And so that's why we wanted to just do a little review, I think. So does anyone have any questions or anything to add?
No, that ain't it.
That?
So I saw your security plan, and one of the things states in there that the security will be there a half hour after the event ends. What if there's still people there?
They'll stay till people get out of there.
So that should be reflected in there, that your security stays until all patrons are removed
Okay.
or discharged or have left the property.
Okay.
And also as clarification that we didn't understand before is that anything that goes on at the fairgrounds, we thought you always had your security there.
We do for events with alcohol.
Okay, so any event that has alcohol, the fair takes responsibility for having
We
security,
take responsibility for the alcohol sales.
but security-wise.
Yes.
Okay, did you find it?
It came to me.
All
The only question I had was, if, if I'm following the application correctly, the event ends and beer sales end at the same time?
I can't predict what time the event will end exactly, but the beer sales will end then. And it may end earlier. You know, the event's scheduled to start at 7 o'clock, and it should be well over by 10, but we'll kind of get a handle on when the event, as it progresses, is going to be coming to a close. And then we'll close down ticket sales. We try and do that in advance of the event ending, and we try and end actual beer going across the bar before the event ends too.
And obviously, you know, you and I have talked, and my concern is, and continues to be, you know, if the event continues to sell tickets and sell alcohol right up until quitting time, you know, that cutoff has to be.
It does, yeah, and it's not fair to the patrons. So we
Right.
try and make sure that we give everybody time to get rid of their tickets and all of that before the event's over.
Right. Can we agree to do a bright line rule that says, you know, alcohol is cut off 60 minutes before the event ends? Because my concern is I bought 20 beer tickets and I want to use them. I can't use them at another event. And you're like, well, you know, I didn't see a sign that says when beer cutoffs were. And the inverse, of course, would be, hey, I've got 10 beers. Let's chug them before we leave to get in our cars. Because, I mean, so it's both of them are a problem and a concern for me. And you, again, you know, I'm not telling you anything you haven't heard from me before. So I'd like to have some kind of a, you know, and I understand you don't know exactly when it's going to end. I'm just very concerned about the last minute rush of people either buying tickets that they can't use them and that becomes a problem with security, or they buy the tickets and they're like, well, I'm still got 6 beers to drink. You can't kick me out till I chug them all.
Well, we haven't had a problem with that, but I think maybe an easier way to manage that would be to limit the number of tickets that a person can buy at a time.
That would also be
I
something
think,
I'd be receptive
you know,
to.
also, when we can or have a good idea, we'll put a sign up on the ticket booth saying that when the ticket booth is going to stop selling tickets.
Right.
And the bar is going to shut off. So I think we do a pretty good job of letting people know, kind of. But like I said, it's sort of a fluid environment with these, especially an event where you've got, you know, animals involved and all of that. So
What can we do about, I know elimination is a fool's paradise, so I won't use that word, but doing a more thorough job of keeping people from smuggling in alcohol they brought in. They brought in a big bottle of booze, they put it down their pants. They brought in 6 beers or whatever, and they put it in their backpack or their pockets or their coats or whatever. What do we do about that? Do we check those things as they come through? Do we make them open up backpacks and whatever?
we don't make everybody, but if something looks suspicious, we'll take a look. And we do look for signs of it, but short of patting people down and every person as they come in, I'm not sure there's a way to 100% protect us, but we are pretty mindful of watching out for people that are consuming outside alcohol during our events, and we'll escort them out.
So right now I go to the bull riding event with a backpack on, no one's gonna stop me and inspect that.
Somebody might.
Well,
but-
might's not gonna cut it for me.
Okay. So we could do bag inspections. But if we do have big signs that say no carry-ins and all of that. I know people don't always follow the rules.
Right. Well, I'm just referencing the last incident. If I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, there was a lot of containers that were seen on the property when you were collecting evidence? Maybe Larry remembers.
Yes, there were alcohol there that was not being sold as part of the event.
Right.
Now, I think Larry may have tried to solve some of that, because I think if you look at the map, the licensed area is much smaller now, so I think he's trying to do a better job of actually controlling that area.
Right.
So that if anything is outside of that area, it's not permitted. I think in that other application, the entire grounds were licensed, Whereas I think this time Larry is trying to limit or restrict that area as well, to better police it, I guess.
I would be more comfortable, like I said, Larry, if we can put up signage that says all bags will be inspected, no exceptions, in big bold letters, and everybody knows that. And if they're about to walk in with their 12-pack of beer in their backpack, they go back to their car and leave it there for the event, I hope.
Yeah, we can do that. I think the bigger problem with the previous promoter, who's no longer doing business here, was the small little bottles of hard liquor that they just put in their front pocket. I really don't, I'm willing to do that, I guess, if it's required, but you just don't see people trying to sneak in a 6-pack of beer or whatever. And
Well, even a fifth or a pint or whatever, if they're walking in, you can see it, and they're sticking out of their pocket, or there's a bulge in their pocket or whatever.
We'll stop them. That's the signs we look
Yeah.
for. And our head of security is an off-duty police chief, and some of our security members are off-duty law enforcement. They're very good. I will say that, with this one particular promoter where there was an incident here in February, we did have issues that we learned from and corrected. And I hope the council noticed that, because it seemed like the problems became less and less and less. And also the incident at the fairgrounds in early February happened an hour and a half after the event left, when someone had come back to the property or had been hiding out and not left. So even though working with that previous promoter was a challenge for us, we seem to rise to the occasion, and we'll continue to try and improve and do a better job. But I feel like we've done a really good job with our security team, with our head of security, in trying to manage large crowds. We have a very good track record, and I would hope that the council would allow us to do this permit with this particular promoter who's been here now for 4 years, professional organization, travels throughout the country, world, championship caliber level bull riders, and a very good event, and a good event for the city.
You had made a comment that the security's there for the beer. So you stop serving beer and there's still people there. Security staying, or are they leaving?
I'll have security stay till everybody leaves.
So, because ultimately, the fairgrounds that board is responsible for that property, right?
Yep.
And everything that goes on there. So that means it should be on your team to make sure that when people leave, if everybody's gone, you lock the gates so they can't get back on. It's your responsibility, because it's not ours. It's yours, to make sure that when everybody's gone, you lock it so they can't get back on the property. And then if they trespass, then you have a different situation. Based on the situation that occurred in February, you said they came back. If the gates had been secured after everybody left, they would have never been able to come back on the property, correct?
I guess that's true. The gates are never really locked at the fairgrounds, except, well, they're really never locked. It would present a very big challenge for us to be able to secure the entire 100 acres after an event's over. I think we do what's very reasonable in making sure that we get people out of there, but we can make sure that the patrons are gone. The people that set up this bull riding thing are going to be working throughout the night. There's going to be people coming and going throughout the night, working in there.
So we potentially have a risk that somebody has a fifth in their car and they're going to be doing it after everybody leaves. Regardless of the license, regardless of the permit, they're going to do whatever they're going to do.
We also have a campground where people could, they can get online and make camping reservations anytime they want. Well, not anytime, but when there's large events going on, it would certainly create a challenge for that. What I can say is we'll do a better job of sticking around after the event to make sure that the patrons have left.
Chief, have you had a chance to review the security plan?
I have.
Okay, what are your thoughts, if you want to share, please?
Yeah, I think it's sound. I think what Larry is trying to do as far as keeping the security there until the grounds are cleared to the best of their ability of those patrons is what we're looking for. I'm not so confident as Larry is that this person left from that prior incident. I don't know if that's accurate necessarily, because there were still people, as far as the part of the promoters team that were there, still, finishing up. Now, whether or not those patrons are there or not there, I don't know, because their own security team had already left. So they were just finishing, removing their equipment at the time. But I think what Larry is presenting tonight is a great start, and you couple that with the track record that this organization already has, I'm confident what's being presented should work.
I have a follow-up question for the chief. What do we currently do with our on-duty Elkhorn officers and the on-duty sheriff's deputies as far as the beginning of the event or the end of the event as people are exiting, as far as having a presence there? People in uniform, people in marked squad cars by the entrances or the exits, just to kind of remind people, to stay on their toes and whatever. Do we engage either one of those groups?
Yes, we encourage it. Again, it goes to our availability
Sure,
and what
absolutely.
that call volume is
Right.
at the time.
So at this particular event, an email or a phone call we made to Sheriff Gerber and said, just a reminder, can you have your sergeants ask a couple guys to be there when it, no.
Not necessarily the sheriff's office, only if we're not able to do it, then we would
Oh,
reach
okay.
out to whoever the IC is, if they are able to.
Okay.
So it's really on us first, and then if we can't for some reason, we would
And that would
see-
normally be 2 officers, I'm assuming?
Depends on the day and the time.
Oh, and
It-
of course, of call volume and availability. But if
Correct.
you're totally tied up with a rollover or whatever, you're gonna call the sheriff's office and say, we can't make it out there at closing time, could you please do this?
That's correct. That's left for the officer that's in charge of that shift to make that call. Again, it's gonna be dependent on what's going on at the time, so.
Well, I assume that Larry would be more than happy to, have additional resources, near the gates, at the entrances, at the exits.
Yeah, I want them out of there.
Yeah,
When it's over. I don't want
Right.
anybody,
right,
I mean, we gotta pay people to stay,
right,
so when it's done, it's done.
right.
Well, question about when it's done, it's done. You'd mentioned that you don't know when it's gonna end. So, I mean, does this event say, what's their advertised? What's the
They're
advertised?
advertising starting at 7.
And going till?
It doesn't, I don't remember if it has an end time, but a bull riding event usually lasts, if it lasts a couple hours, I think people are getting bored. Like, the promoters know that they can't stretch this out too long, or people just start leaving, and I can't imagine that thing even going for 3 hours. I mean, it would be terrible. I don't think anybody'd come back.
Okay, so then, with that information, couldn't we set up as a SOP, cutoffs a half an hour before, you guys decide a time ahead of time? If it's only gonna be a 2-hour event, that means 9 o'clock, people are walking out the door, right?
That's what we do. We try to, like this event, like, we shut tickets off typically a half hour before we think it's gonna end. But even a concert or a lot of entertainment events, the ending of their performance is very fluid, because in a concert, someone might decide they want to do an encore. Well, we'll cut it, we'll know when their last scheduled songs are, and we'll cut off according to that time frame. But they could extend their event, longer than what we thought. And in a bull riding thing or a rodeo, you're dealing with livestock, you're dealing with issues, just getting to the next event during a rodeo event. There is always risk of a bull rider getting hurt and having some sort of EMT or ambulance crew there that's got to help take care of something that slows it down. There's a lot of variables. That's what makes events like that exciting to not the people getting hurt part. Of course, nobody wants that, right? I think some people do, but But it's the variables, it's the risk, it's the, all of that that makes an event like that entertaining to the public. So,
Well, let me ask you, if you were to able to say, you're saying it's a 2-hour event, 3 hours would be, nails on a chalkboard. Well, because of everything that's been said here before about buying extra tickets and all these other things, if everybody knows about this weeks ahead of time, when they're advertised, I don't know what they advertise, how they advertise it, but I mean, if the alcohol is going to be served, if you know the time frame, I guess my point is, don't leave it open.
we won't, we don't.
But I mean, isn't there, again, to have advertising to the public so they know what time the cutoff is when they walk in the door?
I could look on,
I mean,
it may not end at that time.
I'm trying to make it easier and
Sure.
not, just set up a standard time.
Yeah, I guess the event page on Facebook doesn't have an end time, it just has a start time. We keep in touch with the promoter pretty good, especially with this event, and we'll try and communicate throughout the event, like, when do you think this thing's gonna end? Because we want it cut off at least a half hour before it ends too.
Right.
And that's to our benefit, and it's also, we don't want mad patrons that are mad.
Sure.
So we really pay attention to that, so.
But would you see an event go 2 hours, 3 hours overboard? I mean, I'm not.
Oh, no, no,
I'm just, because if it's 30 minutes, I mean, a cutoff.
There's already a standard for how long it can be on a Saturday or a Sunday, as far as like an absolute cutout, like when they have a concert. Like, they can't have a concert that goes to like, is it 10 o'clock on Sundays, I think is a cutoff or something? So no matter what they're doing, that's the maximum.
So then why can't we just set our alcohol sales up to that, so then that way staff and the public, that way.
Because they would be serving right up until the thing ended.
No, we're not talking about serving it till it ends. We're talking about a half an hour cutoff, or whatever.
Yeah.
All I can say is we'll do the best we can. It's our desire to do that too.
Right. I see that.
And we will do whatever's reasonable to find out what an approximate time for the event will be over, and we will act accordingly, because we want the tickets to cut off a half hour beforehand.
Right.
And we want the bar to shut down before the event ends.
What's the most amount of, or is there a limit, maybe is a better way to frame it, for the amount of alcohol tickets I could buy? Like, I say I want 50 tickets, I could buy 50 tickets?
We don't limit it. People pretty much limit it, but we do limit the number of beers served over the bar at a time. So
And what is that number?
2.
2, okay.
Yeah.
So if I want 10 beers, I gotta come back 5 times?
You better bring 5 friends.
Right.
Well, 4.
Right.
I don't know if you have that many.
I don't have that many, Larry, you know me.
How many you got, Ken?
Not 5.
So we really feel a duty to be good neighbors to the community and to provide good entertainment for the community, the surrounding communities. We've been in business for 175 years. I've been here, this is my 9th, I've been here 9 years now. And I feel like our track record's pretty good. And I think we've acted reasonably and responsibly. We've learned from our mistakes. We'll continue to learn and improve. We want everybody to be safe too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Any more questions for Larry?
Just one more on your security plan. You'll be doing security on all your events in the future
That serve alcohol.
and they will be there until everybody's gone.
Yes, sir.
So we shouldn't, every time this permit comes up, we should not have to rehash this.
That's correct.
Okay.
But we will have people in the campground staying there. There will be, there could be other events going on there where there are overnights.
I
We
understand.
can't ask them to leave. So I would ask that the council at least consider that my response to be more that we will do whatever is reasonable to get the patrons out of that particular event out of there. Identifying who's a camper, who's not, and all of that can be difficult sometimes.
Okay, thank you.
Like I said, circling back, I'm in favor of granting the request approval so long as all packages are inspected. Backpacks, diaper bags, I don't care. That's normal in this world, unfortunately. Yes, it's inconvenient, but security, good security is inconvenient. And my second caveat would be, I guess, that any events where alcohol is consumed, there is a conversation with the chief, a member of your staff with the chief's delegate as it gets closer to quitting time about, are we going to have your people, we got a half an hour, 45 minutes till we're about done. If the answer is no, can you reach out to the sheriff's office and get me a couple of guys or gals? I think that's reasonable to ask for. That's my motion.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second.
I'm not sure what all's in the motion, so.
It was lengthy, wasn't it?
It was,
There's a surprise coming from me.
Yeah.
I'm not that smart, so. You want us to call the police?
I want a member of your staff that's working that night, when it gets closer, you get to that half hour, 45 minutes, an hour before it's quitting time, to reach out to the sergeant on duty, I assume. Would be at 10 o'clock at night. It wouldn't be a lieutenant or a captain. Maybe it would be, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll just be easy enough I'll let Larry know who the IC is that
There you
evening,
go.
and give you a cell phone number so that you're able
Or
to contact.
or a head of security whom you know, either one of us, let us know.
Yeah, either one can
Okay.
call that number.
Right.
And then you want us to search all bags, including purses?
I would say all things need to be opened up and looked into, yes.
Okay, so they can open their bag up and we can look in it. We don't have
Yeah.
to rifle through it?
I want you to do an inspection, not a look. All packages, purses, backpacks, et cetera, are subject to inspection, no exceptions. So that means you can open it up, put your hands in there, make sure there isn't any booze or guns or knives or whatever. It's gonna help. I know, I understand it's not a cure-all, but it's gonna discourage people maybe that are considering bringing a weapon, bringing booze, bringing drugs, whatever. It's gonna at least let them know that that's gonna happen. If they've got one of these little tiny things, that holds their phone or whatever. I mean, I don't know what you call those little, what's that? Help me out, ladies. What's that little thing called that holds nothing? It's got a name.
It's called a purse.
Nah, anyway, everybody carries big stuff now. And then, like I said,
We will do our best to search everything, bags when they come in. But we can never guarantee every single one.
And if they refuse it, they refuse the
They
entry.
can go, that's fine.
Bye-bye.
All right, we've
I
got a
just want-
motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Make sure Larry was clear on the motion. He said he wasn't clear, so that's why I
I think
stopped.
we've got the two issues, the calling, the PD near closing time, and inspecting the bags.
With this new inspection, would you be putting some kind of signage at the gates so people can walk up to it and go, oh, look, they're gonna check my bag? I mean,
Yeah, we definitely will, because we're
Right.
gonna want them to know.
I
So-
just wanna make sure.
And we're gonna have problem, the issue is getting everybody in in a short window of time.
Oh.
Some of these, you don't have very long to get people in once the event coordinator decides that patrons are allowed in. Sometimes it's a very short window. So, and it's not because they're being picky, it's because they've got constraints on them too, when their people are gonna be there and when their performers are ready to do their thing and all of that. Or if it's concert, it's sound checks and all this other stuff. It does, it's a big challenge to be able to do that, so.
Could you reach out to these promoters and ask them to have, that any bags being brought onto the site will be inspected when you come to our concert, to our bull riding event? I mean, to help you out ahead of time by planting the seed weeks ahead of time.
That's not a problem. We can let them know. It's just the window of time we're allowed to have the public to enter the event and the start of the performance. So we want to make sure we can get everybody in there.
Right.
And we're not Pfizer Forum here or American Family Field, where they've got, I think I talked to one of the ushers there the other day. They had 160 ushers, So this is a big a change for us to swear that we will inspect every single bag. We will do the best we can. And we will add more people to do so.
And you'll have to work with your media partners, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, Chamber of Commerce, whoever posts, on your behalf. You know, I'm sure you're gonna take care of putting it in the paper. You know,
I don't
we're-
take care
we're-
of putting
you know,
anything in
we're-
the paper, but
I mean, word will get out. And like I said, unfortunately,
will.
it's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, that's the case.
yeah.
You don't get to just walk in anymore, anywhere. And matter of fact, I won't say it. This like the chief said, this is a good starting point. Hopefully this will be a step in the right direction, and that'll be the end of it.
Okay.
Okay, I'd rather move this along, I guess. We've got a motion and a second to approve the event with the two conditions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. So,
Thank you.
there you go.
Thanks, Larry.
We've got a discussion of possible decision regarding execution of a revised agreement with Visu Sewer LLC for the 2024 sewer rehabilitation project in the amount of $774,933.75.
Do we know why there had to be a revised agreement?
Yeah, and that's something that, yeah. So this was the full contract amount of $1.5 million was approved by the council March 4th, but then upon further consideration due to the health of the sewer fund, the council voted to cut that project in half to help, the cash flow of that fund. So that's why it got brought back for half the amount.
Yeah, we work the city and our consultant worked closely with the contractor that was the lowest bidder for the project and cut it in half. So focusing in on the most critical areas.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Gary Payson Jr.,
Yes.
Ken Minell,
Yes.
Scott McClory,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to new business, we've got discussion of possible decision regarding whether to direct the city attorney to draft a proposed ordinance opting out of the state code revision allowing establishments who hold a Class B or Class C license to offer extended closing hours between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. for the National Political Convention.
Chief?
Yes, I can take this. So the legislature, this past session did permit, or did throw in, I should say, a provision that would allow these licensees to stay open in the following counties as listed, which would include us. I just don't see a big benefit. If anything, I see it as just the opposite of having this establishment stay open from 2 until 4 in the morning when they would normally be closed. And so my recommendation would be to ask the city attorney to draft an ordinance to kind of opt out of this section as authorized.
Do we need to opt out if we don't pass an ordinance we actually need to physically opt out? Okay, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Go ahead.
And you can talk all you want.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion, a second. Discussion.
Yes. Chris, can you come to the mic, please?
Yes.
From the chamber's point of view, are they going to be staying out this far?
Oh, yes, we are completely booked.
Or completely booked?
Yes. Both of our facilities are completely booked, almost everyone in Lake Geneva, Delavan. I don't believe they go much farther than Delavan, that direction towards Janesville, but yes, East Troy, what's there? There's 50, well, did you have to do security checks at the hotels with them?
They're booked
Well,
all the way to Chicago.
We are not to speak on whether or not
Oh,
anyone is actually staying in any of our hotels for security concerns.
that weekend is booked.
It's booked.
That's all I know.
Okay. And would us having alcohol sales available, would that benefit us or hurt us? Or you don't know?
I can't answer that. I know most of them will be being transported. Let's put it that way, from what I'm understood.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
I spoke with one downtown business owner who currently holds one of these licenses and was not interested in being open. I did not reach out to others to find out if they are or are not. And so I don't know if Elaine has any words of wisdom on this, but I would agree with the chief to draft the ordinance and not be
Should just talk.
open.
Just talk.
Oh, that's right, it just goes. It's magic. So this is really a matter of local control. So the legislature authorized automatically for the hours to be extended. So if you're not comfortable with it, then you would pass an ordinance to opt out of that procedure or opt out of the extension of hours. But it's also up to the individual establishments. There's no requirement for them to stay open. They can set their own hours, and if they don't want to stay open till like 4 in the morning, they do not have to stay open till 4 in the morning. And there will be establishments that say, no, I'm not interested in that. So it's twofold. It's you can pass an ordinance that says, no, we're going to close at normal times, or you can let the establishments make a decision on it.
And out of curiosity, what time is cut off?
2 and 2:30.
Okay, just so that hasn't changed.
No.
We've got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
One no.
I'm against.
Okay. Motion passes.
So 3-1.
3-1, yep. Moving on, a discussion of possible decision regarding a conditional use permit for JRS Holding to operate a transportation facility at 702 Nathan Lane. This went through Planning Commission. Ken, do you have?
Yeah, it went through and he explained, basically, the trucks are gone all week long. They don't come and go. They go out on the road, they stay out, and then they come in for the weekend, they get reloaded up, and then they go out again. So I'd make a motion to approve this conditional use permit.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Conditional use permits approved. Where are we here? Discussion of possible decision regarding issuing a proposed request for proposals for a needs analysis study of a fire station.
I put the RFP together with help from Trent, but if there's any questions, let either of us know. $40,000 was budgeted to actually do the study, so this is just kind of getting us started to get proposals in for that.
I'd entertain a motion to get this moving forward.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion of possible decision regarding recommendations from Human Resources Committee regarding city employee health insurance plan for 2024, 2025. Do we want to go through these items one at a time?
No.
Right there. All together?
Yeah. D 1, 2, 3, and 4, approval. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Well, we talked about it.
We're gonna, you got all four of them together?
Yes.
She didn't even
Yes.
sit down.
All right, we've got the four items. Do we have any, well, do we get a second, first of all?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did,
Oh, you
okay.
betcha.
So we got a motion and a second. Do you have anything to add?
Can I make just 2 quick comments? Sorry.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to mention that if the council does move forward with the new broker, that the premiums that I had presented at the last meeting would be a little bit lower for the employees. because our total cost would be lower, so those premiums would just go down by a little bit. And then also the FSA amount, the 3,200, that's the IRS max for 2024. There's a possibility that amount could change for 25. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know if the council would like to approve the 3,200, no matter if there is a change. We don't have the amounts for 2025 yet. Those aren't out. It's not a decision that has to be concrete tonight because it doesn't impact the renewal, but I just wanted to mention that as well. Normally, if it does change, I've seen it increase by about $150 to $200. It's not usually a significant change. So those are the two comments I wanted to share.
I would keep my second motion with the 3,200.
Okay. Any other discussion, questions? Roll call. I think we're spending money, yeah?
I would do a roll call.
Okay. Yep, roll
Scott
call.
McClory,
Yes.
Gary Payson Jr.,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness,
Yes.
Ken Minell.
Yes.
Motion passes. We have new agenda item 12E.
Okay. I took a look at the statutes and some of the language I wanted to just confirm. So under 6211 sub 3B, there's some operating procedures for the council. Obviously, like you need 2/3 of the members shall be a quorum, of which you have 4. It still is 4. So you do have 4, so that's good. And then a majority of all of the members shall be necessary to do a confirmation. This isn't a confirmation, it's a direct appointment by the council. So the statute for filling vacancies under 17.23 doesn't talk about a tie vote or what you do. So took a look at the statutes, took a look at some case law, and there is an old case that actually does say that the mayor can vote to break a tie in this kind of situation when it's clearly a tie, not when there's disagreement as to who should get appointed. So it has to be a true tie. So it's an old case from 1901. So, so I'm going to backtrack and say that it's okay for the mayor to be able to break the tie if as a body you're comfortable proceeding this way. You can always, if you wanted to, wait and do it at your next meeting when you have 5 of your sitting 6 members. That's up to the council to decide.
I'd like to go tonight and get it over with.
Yeah, the seat's been vacant, so
Yeah.
I'm good with letting the mayor break the tie.
Yep.
That's 2.
Yes.
You're,
Yeah.
okay.
You say, Kurt?
Well, I like what the attorney had said, the reason why there was a discrepancy of who should be brought into the seat. I mean, that's why it's 2-2. 2 of us think it should be somebody else, and 2 of us think it should be Karen. So whether well, it doesn't matter, it's already it'd be 3-1 no. I'd rather wait till we had 5 aldermen.
So do we need a motion to let him break the tie then?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you had a motion on the floor and it was 2-2. And you took a vote, and I said it failed because it was a tie vote. I think if the majority of the board would like to proceed tonight, I think you can pass an initial motion that says you want to proceed tonight with, if the 3 of the 4 of you want to proceed tonight, I would do that motion first. And then have it opened up for an appointment, a motion to appoint again on the floor.
I would make a motion to approve tonight.
And I'll second.
We've got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And call for a motion.
For,
An appointment to the council. Someone needs to make a motion.
Back to my original motion.
Yep.
So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Carol Young to Alderman seat 1.
But the problem is we're going to be back to tying again.
Well, he gets to vote.
Then the mayor
Oh,
gets to
gotcha
break
now.
to-
Okay,
break
I
the
second.
tie.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Gary Peason Jr.,
Yes.
Scott McClory,
Yes.
Ken Minell,
No.
Kurt Harkness.
No.
2-2 tie, Tim Sharota.
This job is not my favorite thing, I'll tell you. I was hoping that'd go the other way. I'm gonna vote no.
So 2-3,
So then we need.
Motion does not
So then we
carry.
need a new motion.
Yes,
With the
you
other
would need
candidate.
you would need another motion if any member of the council was so inclined.
Motion to appoint, is that what we need?
correct.
I will make a motion to appoint Peter, what's his last name? Harvey, excuse me. Peter Harvey to fill the seat.
We've got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Ken Minell,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness,
Yes.
Scott McClory,
No.
Gary Payson Jr.,
No.
2-2 tie, Tim Sharota.
Yes.
Congratulations. Come on up.
Here's your seat, Peter. And you'll be sworn in by the interim city attorney.
Oh, okay.
You can follow along.
You'd like to raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Peter Harvey,
Having been elected, having been, I have the hardest time with that language every time, so I apologize. Having been appointed to the office of Alderperson District 1,
having been appointed to the office of Alder District 1,
Alderperson District 1,
Alderperson District 1, sorry,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Do you prefer to swear or affirm? Which swear or affirm? Any preference? But you just say I swear.
I swear.
Okay.
Sorry.
And the Constitution of the State of
And
Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
That's all right. We're on legislative and regulatory, municipal services.
I'm gonna have you sign right here. And then we'll have I'll print his name. Sure.
Hey, can I get a motion to adjourn into closed session?
I'll give that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, we need a roll call vote. Do you need me to read this before we vote? The closed session?
A roll call to go into closed session.
Yeah, you have to read that part.
Just this part here, and then should I read the second one too?
Oh, you never know.
I know. Yeah, because we're not gonna come back out to open in the middle. So
Okay.
I would read this with respect to
I don't
this
need this.
item. And then this with respect, and this.
Underline the two vacancies.
Closed session, according to Wisconsin statute, whatever.
Yep, to consider and for this.
Okay.
And then also this, read this part again, yeah, it's kind of.
All right,
a lot to
thank you.
read. I'll work with Lacey to do that.
Okay.
My wife's gonna think I ran off the road.
All right, before we go into closed session, we've got about 6 pages to read here. The common council may entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. And our item is a discussion regarding compensation for newly appointed Fire Chief Trent Eichmann. Our second item is the common council may entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute sections 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data for any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, and pursuant to 19.851F to consider financial, medical, social, or personal histories or disciplinary data of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personnel problems, or the investigation of charges against specific persons which, if discussed in public, would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data or involved in such problems or investigations. And this is a discussion regarding findings from an investigation ordered by the council on January 3rd, 2024. So the first item
Hold on, I don't think we're all staying, right?
Did you do a roll call vote?
Oh, the roll call.
Okay.
Okay, so Gary Payson Jr.,
Yes.
Scott McClory,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness,
Yes.
and Ken Minell.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
Oh, you forgot one. You forgot our newest member.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
All that rigmarole, you forgot to add him.
Peter Harvey.
Yes. So far away.
So we've reconvened in open session. It is 7:07 PM.
All right, we've got a discussion of possible decision regarding compensation for the newly appointed Fire Chief Trent Eichmann.
I make a motion to keep him at the step process that we did when he was appointed interim.
And I'll second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, is that a roll call vote?
Because of the dollars, make everybody paranoid now, sure, yes.
Roll call vote, please.
Gary Payson Jr.,
Yes.
Scott McClory,
Yes.
Ken Minell,
Yes.
Kurt Harkness,
Yes.
Peter Harvey.
Yes.
Okay, and I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
After reconvene.
Second. I get one in.
Yeah. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
You broke the ice.